Now, I know you guys seen the title of the video. I want to talk about Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston. They're not compatible. But before we go there, just based on the terrible basketball we've seen from the Indiana Fever all year, I just want to tackle a point real quick. So walk with me for a second, then we're going to get to the main part of this video. The WNBA, they act like they have a good league, and it really makes me feel some type of way. Like women basketball players who talk about the game and players who have retired that talk about the game, they act as if this league is already good. They talk about things like, oh, we're not going to change up things for Caitlin. Oh, Caitlin's come over. We're not just going to flip the whole way we play. I know we have a legion of young, great players who've come into our game and they play a little bit differently than we do, but we're not going to compromise the way that we play. It's as if they stand on this type of pride, this type of ego, this ego about what they've built. Like they've built this league and they like the way that it has been for I guess years and years now, and yet nobody's been watching their league. And now you have new players coming in, and these new players have audiences, and these audiences like how these new players play, and yet the WNBA is telling these new players they can't play the way they want to play. It doesn't make sense. And I get it, if you built a great league, it's like the NBA. Say a guy comes in who happens to be more popular than LeBron when LeBron was coming in, and that guy came into the league and all his super fans wanted the guy to be able to play this certain way that the NBA doesn't really like. At the end of the day, you can't just change up the way the NBA plays just for one dude, right? Because you got millions of people who watch the NBA every year. They don't need to switch up. The WNBA does need to switch up. Like, I'm not pinpointing one circumstance on which they decided to stand back and stand by on their old ways. I'm not saying that they've just done that recently, but I'm saying if push came to shove, they would not be willing to reform their league for the benefit of the new players and new fans. And it's like, people say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Y'all league is broke. Fix it. That's all I'm saying. But I want to talk about Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston, because if you watched last night's game, you know, it was really a tough time for anybody who likes watching basketball. The Indiana Fever played the Sun, and I'm not gonna lie, that's just terrible hoops all around. Terrible hoops. But I think there's a trend that's been happening all season, but we've been talking about it a little bit all year. You've heard it a little bit on my channel. Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston, they don't seem to fit. They don't seem to play well together. They seem to play better when the other is not on the floor. And I think one of them needs to be traded. Either you trade Caitlin Clark or you trade Aliyah Boston. You don't look at a future where you have Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston on the same squad. I don't see that ever working. Let's use an NBA example. Take Joel Embiid. Put him on the Indiana Pacers. Is that going to work? You're going to put Joel Embiid in the fastest offense in the NBA. You think he's going to eat? I don't think so. Take Luka Doncic. Take Luka Doncic and swap him out with Tyrese Halliburton. You think the Pacers are still going to play the same way they played this year? No, they won't. They don't fit. They're literally polar opposites. Luka Doncic and Tyrese Halliburton are both great playmakers, but they make in totally different ways. They are opposites in every single factor. If you look at Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston, one of the main reasons that it has not been working is because every single time Aliyah sets a screen for Caitlin, she doesn't roll. She doesn't go for the right look. You know what she does? She goes to her spot. Every single time she sets a screen for Caitlin Clark, she goes to the top of the free throw line, either the right or the left side, or she's going down to the low block. It's very predictable. She's not rolling. She's not trying to get Caitlin in her best position to, pass the ball. What she's trying to do is just get a look for herself. That's it. But I'm not mad at it because that's how she hoops. That's how Aliyah hoops. She is a post player. You get her the ball in the post, let her go to the post, one-on-one in the post. That's where she works. That's where she eats. That doesn't work with Caitlin. Caitlin is not going to be a standstill player to pass the ball down to Aliyah. And Aliyah is not going to be a roller for Caitlin. Aliyah is most prolific on the post, down low, backing somebody down. That's where she works. That's what she's good at. She's not good at setting screens and rolling. It doesn't work. Caitlin Clark is not going to be the girl to pass it down to Aliyah Boston and then just stand still. No, you need to set her mad screens on the court. You need to move so she can get an open look, so she can shake the defense off her. It does not work because of the way they play. Aliyah literally does not play the way Caitlin Clark plays. They play totally different, and it does not work. It just does not work. I'm sure they like each other a lot. They seem to be really decent teammates. I mean, when Caitlin Clark got pushed to the ground by Kennedy Carter, Aliyah Boston was the only person that came to come help her up. It did take her a while, but she did come help her up. We've seen moments where Aliyah Boston walking down the tunnel is talking to Caitlin, encouraging her, telling her, hey, chill out, don't mess with the refs in that way. She's done things with Caitlin that from the fans' eye would seem like they have real good chemistry and a real good relationship. But guess what? Monta Ellis and Klay Thompson had a real good relationship. You know what I mean? Steph Curry and Monta Ellis, they had a relationship. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you don't play the way the other player plays, you got to go. You don't think Carmelo Anthony wanted to play with Paul George and Russ West? Obviously, he wanted to play there. Them his boys. But guess what? It didn't work. You don't think James Harden, KD, and Kyrie all wanted to be together playing on the same team in Brooklyn? I'm sure they did. But guess what? It didn't work. It don't matter how much chemistry you have, how much you love the other player. If it don't work, it don't work. It don't matter how much coach is trying to prove that she can make this work. We're going to push through this. We're going to be, real strong young women about it. Hey, I get it. You can try your best, try your hardest. But at the end of the day, if it don't work, it don't work. I know they want to keep it together. I know they love Aliyah. She's your rookie of the year last year. Caitlin's going to be rookie of the year this year. But guess what? They don't have chemistry. They don't work. The two play styles do not work. It's trying to put fire and water together and thinking it's going to mix. It's not going to mix. One's got to go. It don't work. I guess my analogy would have had to been fire and ice. But at the end of the day, you get the point. It does not work. Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark just does not work. And I think something's going to have to change. You got to trade one of the players if you're really trying to make something out of this. Like, if it's not just talk. Like, if you really, are trying to set Caitlin up to, have a dynasty and win, the most championships of any WNBA player. Like, you're really trying to set her up to be as great as people think she will. And as her teammates, if you're trying to do that, and her team, it's the organization around her, if you're trying to do that, you have to start right now. And this season, her rookie season, you have to start. And you have to establish something. And the establishment that you have to make is that we're going to favor Caitlin. But if you think you would rather go with Aliyah than say we're going to favor Aliyah, you got to trade one of the players because they cannot grow to their full potential together. And you cannot win the most amount of championships. You might win. They might be able to win together. But you're not going to be the best you can be with these two players because they don't work. You'll be compromising somewhere to get the win. You don't want to have to compromise with your two best players. You don't. You want them to be able to work together. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. I hope you guys liked the setup. And I want you guys to let me know if you made it this far in the video. Let me know if you like the audio in this video better than in my other videos because I'm using a new microphone. I don't know if I haven't set it up correctly. I'm using a audio interface for the first time. There might be moments where the audio got really loud. I don't really know. I'm kind of just watching it a little bit. But let me know if you guys think the audio sounds any better because I can't really tell at this point. So, yeah, anyway, see you guys. Peace out.